Hi. It has been a while since we've had a sit down and chat video. There are lots of reasons for that, all of them good ones. Just been busy. Life is busy. But we are back. Hello, we are here. Now, I have recently come back in touch with a couple of people I used to go to school with, which was about 10 years ago, which is a very depressing thought. And it's so interesting, the people that I've come back in touch with, that none of us are the same people that we were, you know, at school 10 years ago, and yet we're still so similar to the people that we were. And 2018 has been a strange year for me. I don't like change. Anybody will tell you that knows me knows I hate it. No change is good change in my eyes. And yet I've had a lot of changes this year. I mean, I changed my whole room around, I've changed jobs this year, just changed a lot of things in my life in general this year. And I was talking to an old friend of mine, and I was saying how strange I felt, as if I was getting to know myself again. You know, I worked at Costa for a long time, and working for Costa it kind of just killed my enthusiasm for things. You know, I would pull these 9-hour shifts and be exhausted and just go back and do it the next day, and I didn't want to do anything. I had lots of ambitions and dreams when I left school, and I have not achieved any of them because I didn't have the drive or passion. I was just tired. And maybe that's a reflection on me, you know, maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm one of those people that just doesn't have drive or passion for things. But anyway, I got talking to this friend of mine, and I was saying to him how I feel like I'm reconnecting with myself. You know, I'm getting to know myself all over again, and I'm not entirely sure what I want anymore, or what I want to do anymore, or who I am. And so this led me to this video, which is 25 questions for 25 years. I'm going to be 25 years old in December, and that's a terrifying thought. The thought scares me. And so I've written a list of 25 questions that I'm going to answer for you guys. Some of them are relatively easy questions, and some of them I have put in because as I wrote them, I didn't know the answer to them, and I've taken a little bit of time to think about them. And hopefully this is going to give, you know, you guys an idea of who I am, and me an idea of who I am trying to be, or not trying to be yourself, don't try and be anybody, but the person I'm getting to know again. Does this make sense? We're getting a little bit deep. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into these questions. Okay, so question number 1. What is my full name? My full name is Molly Ann Hodgson. Funny story, when I was at school, all through my school life, it would come up Molly Ann as on the register as though Molly Ann was my first name. It's not. Molly is my first name, Ann is my second name. But for some reason on the registers it would always come up as Molly Ann, which was so annoying, like Anne Maria. It's very frustrating because every year it would happen, every time there was a substitute teacher it would happen, every time we got a different teacher. In secondary school we had a different form tutor for like every year. Sometimes we had 2 form tutors a year, and every single year it would happen, and towards the end of it everybody would say her name's just Molly, which I thought was quite amusing. So yeah, it's Molly Ann Hodgson. Oh, Molly with a Y and Ann with an E. You would be surprised how often that comes up. And Hodgson. Without an E as well. People spell my name wrong a lot. What is my zodiac sign? My zodiac sign is a Sagittarius. My birthday is the 6th of December. I was born 1993. Do I believe in star signs? Yes. I do believe in that your astrological sign can have effect on you. Not all of them. Everything you read about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is sporty. I'm not. There was a video about how I didn't like exercise. If I can find it, I'll link it down below for you guys. About how much I dislike being sporty. So there you go. So question number 3 is, what am I scared of the dark? That's it. I'm scared of the dark. I've been scared of the dark since I was a child, since I was a very little girl, and I still am. The dark still scares me. Although I have to sleep with it dark. Like, I don't like sleep with a nightlight on or anything. It has to be dark to go to sleep, but your eyes are closed so it doesn't matter. But to walk into a dark room or to walk through a dark space, yeah, terrifying. Really, really scary. petrified. And rattlesnakes, not that I'm scared of them, but they really freak me out. Like, I don't know what it is about normal snakes don't freak me out. Rattlesnakes, freaky. I think it's the tail. Rattlesnakes are freaky, I'm telling you. Right. Question number 4 is, what is my favourite place? My favourite place is Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. That's it. I just love it. It feels like going home. You know, there's a... it's not on here, is it? No, it's not. So there's a song lyric. For any of you guys that have seen Hercules, the Disney Hercules, there's a song lyric, I Can Go the Distance. And the opening lyric to that song is, I've often dreamed of a far-off place where a great warm welcome is waiting for me. Now, I couldn't have been more than maybe 3 or 4 when I might get my dates wrong because I don't know when Hercules came out, but like when I actually remember listening to those lyrics. And I remember hearing them and just instantly thinking that song was written about me. That somewhere out there, there's this, you know, place that's waiting for me. And every time I hear that song, I think it's written about me. And when I go to Disney World, I feel like, you know, this is it. This is the place I'm meant to be. But there you go. So question number 5 is, what is my favourite quote? I have a lot of quotes that I live by, and Olivia started this actually. She started a notebook with quotes in, and she was talking about publishing it and there being the title of the book being words I didn't say. And so I thought that's a really cool idea, so I stole it. Because, you know, that's what you do. So I have a notebook. Olivia actually got me this notebook for Christmas. It says my name on it, it's really cool. And what we do is we just find quotes that we like and we write them in the book. And if we're ever feeling down or feel like we need a quote, that's a very long one, we write it down in the book. Oh, as you can see, Olivia was much nicer. She has drawings and things in it, and mine are terrible. But yeah, lots of different ones. I don't know if I could tell you what my favourite quote in this book is. This isn't my favourite quote, but this is a quote that I think I should live by more, which is, crying does not indicate you are weak. Since birth, it has always been a sign that you are alive, which is said by Charlotte Bronte, or written by Charlotte Bronte. I've always thought that crying was a sign of weakness. I don't cry. I haven't cried. I have the emotional capacity of a stone. I've developed past the need for emotions, which is what I used to tell people when I worked for Costa. I think probably my favourite quote is, this is another really good quote. People say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I say the most liberating thing about beauty is realising that you are the beholder. Which is said by somebody, but I cannot pronounce their name, so I do apologise. I don't know if it's in here. I mean, it probably is because I really like it. But one of my, let's see if I have it in here. It's not. One of my absolute favourite quotes ever is, if you think you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hold on, which I think is by Thomas Jefferson. But being as it's not necessarily here in the book, I don't know. But yeah, I actually would highly recommend everybody to start doing this. You know, if you're like me and Olivia and you have all of these quotes that you just love, if you like quotes, get yourself a notebook, just a cheap notebook, and just write them down. Keep them in one place you can find them. And if you ever feel the need to, or you feel down, have a look in your quote book and I'm sure you will find one. We like to play open the book and that's the quote you have to live by for the next week, which is a fun game to play. So yeah, Olivia's on like 3, I've only got the 1. But yeah, I would highly recommend to anybody who ever feels down is just start keeping a track of all these quotes that make you feel happy. Question number 6, do you use sarcasm? Apparently I use it far more than I ever realise I do. I say things and nobody seems to know if I'm being sarcastic or if I'm not being sarcastic. And sometimes when I am using sarcasm, people are like, wait, are you serious? So apparently I do, but I don't know how to. Things you learn about yourself when you work in retail. Very, very interesting. Question number 7, what is the meaning behind my URL? The meaning behind my URL, so my URL is, if you guys don't know, which would be silly, but if you don't, it is I talk too much. And the reason is because I do talk all the time to everything. Inanimate objects, myself, the mirror, the air, my computer, everything. I talk to everything. It used to be a real problem. Not a problem, but when I worked for Costa, I used to talk to the coffee machine all the time, and the dishwasher, and customers used to be like, "Are you talking to me, love?" Nope, just talking to me equipment. No, they doesn't answer back, which is always good news. Well, question number 8. How do I take my coffee? I take my coffee bitter and black, like my soul. Nothing else. Just bitter, black. Well, I say bitter. I take it black. Not really strong, but strong-ish black, with a drop of cold water in the top of it. And that's how I take my coffee. What is my favourite song? My favourite song, question number 9, is what is my favourite song? My favourite song is Shine by Take That. Don't ask me why, it just makes me feel good. Really, really like that song. I think a lot of you expected that to be a Disney song. My favourite Disney song is I Can Go the Distance from Hercules. What is my favourite movie? Inception. Love that movie. What is the last book that I read? The last book, okay, so we have props for this one. I came prepared this time. So the last book I read is This Is Where I Leave You, which is by Jonathan Trooper. There is a book review to come. I will do one. Brilliant book. Highly recommend it. It is a film, and I watched the film first, and in a strange turn of events preferred the film. But yes, I would suggest anybody who is interested, anybody who has siblings, who has a lot of siblings, give this book a read. You will. It's very reminiscent. So you guys know I'm one of 4. This book is very reminiscent of that. So yes, I would suggest give this book a read. That's the last book I finished. And the last book I read was this book, which is Part of Your World by Liz Braswell. It is part of the, I don't know, it's part of the Disney A Twisted Fairy Tale collection. It's here. Disney Twisted Tale collection. And I think there's 5 or 6 of them in the collection. I don't think you have to read them in a particular order. I just read this one first because it was The Little Mermaid. You guys know that's my favourite Disney movie. Also, do you guys like my bookmark? It's a Costa price tag, the stuff we don't sell anymore. Anyway, really, really enjoying this book. Basically, this one is, so what they are is they are twisted takes on the Disney movies. So this one is Ariel, and basically at the end of the movie, Ursula wins. She marries Prince Eric, and Ariel goes to rule Atlantica with no voice. And then this book is set 5 years later, and Ariel finds out that her father is still alive and that Ursula still has her voice, so she goes to try and get her dad back and have her voice back. Very, very good. I'm enjoying it very much. There is 5 or 6 in the collection, I think, and the next one I'm going to read is the Beauty and the Beast one, because that story seems really interesting. So yeah, if you guys are interested in giving those a read, it's the Disney Twisted Fairy Tale collection. They're actually my brother's books, I stole them. Okay. So we're on question number 12, which is my favourite book. Now, I've thought quite hard about. I thought quite hard about what my favourite book is, and so I'm going to do 2. So my favourite book I read as a teenager was Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth, which is the which is the 5th book in the original Percy Jackson collection. Highly recommend it. Very, very good. The 4th one, not so great. The 5th one, brilliant. I don't know why it was my favourite, it just was, although I worked it out very quickly. I have a habit of working things out, and I worked it out really fast, and so I stopped reading it for a long time, but really good, really enjoyable read. Okay, so my favourite book that I have read as an adult is The 100-Year-Old Man That Climbed Out of His Window and Disappeared by Jonas Johnson. You may know him from writing other books such as The Girl Who Saved Sweden, I think, and there is a sequel to this too, which I have not read yet, and I just loved it. What I really liked about it was it challenges the way you write, and I will do a book review on this as well. It's been a while since I've read it, so I might read it again and then do a book review of it. But yes, this is my favourite book I've read as an adult. I recommend it to everybody. Nobody I've recommended it to has read it yet, but I would really, really highly recommend that you read this book. It's a really fun read. It's an educational read. You know, it's very different, and I really, really enjoy it. So this is my favourite book that I've read as an adult. So many books. My goodness, I shouldn't have put all of these ones together. Who is my favourite fictional character? I left this one in there because I didn't know the answer when I wrote it, and I still really don't know the answer. I'm looking at a Pokemon mug. I could say Pikachu, couldn't I? This is balancing on a Pokemon mug. Pikachu, no. I'm never really sure who my favourite fictional characters, you know. There are so many people out there that identify with fictional characters, and that's fantastic. If you identify with a fictional character, good for you. You know, you find somebody that's your identity and that's who you like. And I find it very hard to identify with fictional characters. I don't know why. So I don't really know who my favourite fictional character is. What if it was quickfire? Somebody said to you, quickfire question, Molly, who's your favourite fictional character? I would say, just don't know who I'd say. Philatides from Hercules. No, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I shouldn't have left this in here because I genuinely don't know the answer to it. Axel from Kingdom Hearts. Shout out to anybody who plays the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Aqua from Kingdom Hearts I really like. I don't know who my favourite fictional character would be. Misty from Pokemon. Just listing fictional characters that I like. I really shouldn't have left that question in there because I genuinely don't know the answer to it. My favourite fictional character. Oh, I like Hodgins from Bones. He's brilliant. I don't know if he's my favourite, but he is very brilliant. Oh, McGee from NCIS, or Tony from NCIS actually. I really like Tony and McGee. So many. All of them. They're all my favourites. I couldn't pick one. I shouldn't have put all those together. Question number 14. Share an unpopular opinion. I didn't think Mamma Mia 2 was the best film I've ever seen. They thought Mamma Mia 1 was much better, if I'm honest. There were aspects of Mamma Mia 2 that I enjoyed and I would watch it again, but I preferred the first one. Also, unpopular opinion, I didn't like Solo. Didn't think Solo was very good. And what's another unpopular opinion that I have that people seem to think that that's a weird thing? Reservoir Dogs. Didn't think Reservoir Dogs was fantastic, probably because I worked it out too soon, but I watched Reservoir Dogs, like, it's okay. There's some wonderful cinematic moments in Reservoir Dogs, but I wasn't particularly, like, blown away by the film. Probably because I wasn't blown away by the ending, because I figured it out. Okay, so I'm not up here by myself sharing these unpopular opinions. Everybody comment an unpopular opinion down below, okay? I don't care what it is, and don't be nasty, okay? This is not a nasty zone. This is a safe zone where everybody can share their unpopular opinions about things, okay? And we're not going to be mean or nasty to these people that do that. This is a sharing zone now, and everybody is going to share a unpopular opinion, and whether you agree or disagree with that unpopular opinion, it's too late because I already shared it. So everybody share an unpopular opinion down below, so I'm not up here. That was like 5. That made up for the fictional character thing. Right. What do I want to be when I grow up? Question number 15. What do I want to be when I grow up? When I was a kid, I wanted to be so many things when I grew up. I wanted to be an artist, and then I realised that you'd actually have talent to do that, and I don't have the talent. I wanted to be a teacher for a very brief amount of time. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be somebody who read storms for a very long time. I wanted to be someone who, a meteorologist. I wanted to be someone who studied weather for a long time. I wanted to be somebody who studied global warming for a long time. Yeah, I wanted to be a meteorologist for a long time. I wanted to be somebody who studied global warming for a long time. I wanted to be an actress for the longest time. I wanted to be an actress. And now I'm an adult. And I love to write. I love writing. I love writing things I feel. I recently wrote a blog post, which I don't do very often, about shoe shopping. And if you guys are interested in reading that, I will link it down below for you. If you guys have read that, thank you very much for giving it a read. And I got a really overwhelming response to that. And I really like to write that way. It's not, I wouldn't say it's an article per se, but it was a blog post. It wasn't a fictional story, which is what I do more of now. And I really like to write that way. But I guess I would like to be, I wouldn't say published, but I'd like to be, you know, heard. I'd like people to, you know, read what I think and read what I feel, and they see that, and like I want to give people that don't have a voice, you know, people with dyslexia, for example, or people with fat legs, for example. If you read the blog post, you will understand. People with big boobs, people that, you know, we are out there in the world, we just do everyday things, and we don't there isn't somebody out there who has a voice for us, and I would like to be that person if you guys would let me. But yes, I did for a long time would have liked to have been a meteor. Oh, and also I'd love to fly planes. I think that would be really cool. I love aeroplanes. Where are we at? Question number 16. Are you a morning or a night person? I'm a morning person. I love the mornings. I love the idea that the world is fresh and new and full of all of these exciting possibilities that you didn't have when you went to bed last night. So yes, I am a morning person. Although I do need a really good cup of coffee. Question number 17. Do you have a nickname, and if so, what's the meaning? So you guys, to the people who have been following me for a long time, and anybody who went to school with me, will know that I used to have a nickname called Molother, which isn't, a lot of people, is like a nickname, it's like a shortened version of your name. This is a long and elongated version of my name. And everybody asks me where the story came from, and it's such a boring story. It's not even a good story, but it stuck. So me, Louise and Tammy, Louise and Tammy were two girls I went to school with. On, I don't know, like a Wednesday maybe, we would have every single one of our lessons together, or for like the morning, most of our lessons we'd have together on this particular day. And on this particular morning, we were discussing names, and Louise said to this girl Tammy, you know, is Tammy short for anything, like Tabitha? And Tammy said, no, it's just Tammy. She was talking about nicknames, and she said to me, do you have a nickname? And I said, no, I don't have a nickname. I don't like mole, and I don't like moles. And she said, well, why don't you have a nickname? Oh, well, I've never been given a nickname before. And she said, well, you're Molother. Molly, T-H-E-R. Molother, like Tabitha. And she kept calling it me all day, and she would write it on things all day. And it stuck, like it just really stuck. And so I came home that day, and I changed my Facebook name to Molother Dust. Where the dust thing came from, I can't remember. It was something to do with a science lesson that had Louise in, and I don't remember where the dust thing came from, but it was Molother. Then I changed my Twitter name to Molother, and it just kind of took on its own life, and everybody started calling me that, and people used to actually refer to me as Molother. And if you speak to me on WhatsApp, it still says Molother with an upside down smiley face, because you know. And yeah, that's where that originated from. It's not a very interesting story, but that's where it originated from. I get asked that quite a lot. So, question number 18. What is an item on my bucket list? I'd like to go to the Olympics. I would like to, if somebody could get me tickets to the Olympics, live one, I would just I love the Olympics. The idea of being an Olympian just gives me goosebumps. I just, can't even explain to you why or what it is. I would like to win a gold medal at the Olympics, but I mean, that's like mega ridiculousness bucket list. If they ever start doing talking as an Olympic sport, or barista as an Olympic sport, I'd win the gold, but there you go. But yes, I'd like to see an Olympic event, go to the Olympics. That would be life made for me. To see Michael Phelps swim, massive Phelps fan. If I could see Michael Phelps win his medal, that would be really cool. Obviously I'd like England to win a gold medal, but is Michael Phelps the most decorated Olympian of all time? Come on. Question number 19. What is an item I couldn't live without? We're thinking about this, and I discussed this with my sister, and we decided it does count, and the answer is spell check. I could not live without spell check. You guys know why. I would not be able to do my job without spell check, so spell check. Question 20. What is your goal that you want to achieve this year? Oh, that's not very good. Even with spell check, that's spelled wrong. What is a goal I want to achieve? The goal for the rest of this year, something I would like to achieve, is lose a little bit of weight. And for anybody who @s me or anybody that comments, you're beautiful, you don't need to lose weight, blah blah blah, I still have to look in the mirror every day and see it. So I mean, come on. Not like, I don't want to lose tons of weight and be completely different, just, you know, a couple of pounds here and there. Just, that's just, you know, something I want to do. I just want to be able to look at myself for longer than 10 seconds in the mirror, like pulling myself apart. Everybody does it, so there you go. Question number 21. Does your name have a meaning? So does my first name have a meaning? So the reason I left this question in is because all of my siblings have really, really interesting meanings behind their names. But my name is a family name. I have a cousin called Molly who lives in Canada. Not my cousin, my grandpa's cousin is called Molly and she lives in Canada, and it's apparently a family name. So there you go, that's where Molly came from. But my brothers are Harry and Luke. And my parents didn't realise till recently that they are named after two of the biggest franchises on the planet, Star Wars and Harry Potter. Not what they're named after. Luke is named after a film character though. They got Luke from the film Cool Hand Luke, which I have not seen. And I don't really know where they got the name Harry, I just know they liked it, but they called him Harry at just such the wrong time, because Harry was born and then Harry Potter blew up and everybody, like, I think a lot of people called him Harry Potter, and it really, really blew up after he was born, and so it was just very bad timing on their part. But it's quite amusing that they're Luke and Harry. And my sister's name is Olivia, after Olivia Newton-John, because my dad's favourite film is Grease. She was almost Sandy, so... But yes, she's Olivia, after Olivia Newton-John. And mine's a family name. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Also, something else really interesting is my second name is Anne, which I already told you guys, which was my grandmother's name. My older brother's name is Simon, which is my mum's brother. And my little brother's middle name is Andrew, which is my dad. But my sister's middle name is Jane, and they have no idea where they got Jane from. They don't know. We were discussing it recently, and Jane has no meaning. And the extra interesting fact about Olivia is that she was born in 1995. Her initials are OJ. 1995 was also the year that OJ Simpson went on trial, and she is dead set that that is where my parents got her name from, was OJ Simpson's trial, and she knows lots of facts about it, but I think that's really interesting. Question number 22. Someone you need to say sorry to. Now, I wrote this question in there so I would think about it, and I've been backwards and forwards on the idea for a couple of days, and the original idea was I could apologise to anybody that knew me during secondary school, because you are discovering who you are, and you know, you're not the person that you are meant to be in secondary school. You are still growing and you're developing and you're becoming who you are. And I was gonna sit here and be like, apologise to anybody that knew me between these years. But here's the thing, if I wasn't that person then, I wouldn't be the person I am now. And I like who I am now, or who I'm becoming. So I'm not gonna apologise for that. If you knew me at that time, that's the person I was. And I'm not going to sit here and apologise for somebody that I used to be. And then I thought about apologising to just certain people that I went to school with. And then I realised that if I start doing that, I'm going to start apologising to lots of people. So weirdly enough, my apology goes to somebody else on YouTube who will probably never ever see this. But my apology goes to Carrie Hope Fletcher. And I'm sure you guys know who Carrie Hope Fletcher is. YouTuber, actress, writer, and the reason I'm apologising to Carrie Hope Fletcher is because we are relatively the same age. She's a year older than me, and she is basically me but successful. Every time she does something or uploads something, I'm like, damn, I was going to do that, and she just got there before me. And I have not read anything Carrie Hope Fletcher has written, and I very rarely watch any of her videos anymore. And I haven't seen any plays that she's in, but I would like to. I haven't seen the plays she's in because I kept missing them. But the reason I never read a word that she's ever written is because I was jealous. I am jealous of her. She is, like I've said, she's me but successful. And she does all these wonderful things, and she has this drive and this passion to do it, and I don't. And I didn't read it. If I was a Greek hero and I had a fatal flaw, it would be jealousy. I get jealous of everybody and everything very, very quickly. And it's stupid. It's stupid to be jealous of somebody that you don't know, or be jealous of somebody else's success, and I am. And because of that, I refuse to read them, even though some of them seem really quite interesting. And so my apology goes to her for just being a terrible human to somebody I don't even know, for reasons that are absolutely ridiculous. I shouldn't be selfish of somebody I don't know. I shouldn't be selfish of other people's success. Women should be building each other up, not pulling each other down. And so yeah, my apology goes to Carrie Hope Fletcher for not judging, but for being jealous of somebody I don't even know for somebody's success who I should be inspired by, not jealous of. Okay, question number 25. Question number 23, did I go to university? No, I didn't go to university. No, I don't regret going to university. No, I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want to do any of those things. I hated school. Why would I go back? Absolutely no. Do I regret it? No. Question number 24. Do I believe in soulmates? Yes, I do believe in soulmates. I don't necessarily believe that your soulmate is somebody that you are in love with or somebody that you have to be in love with. Your soulmate is somebody that makes you feel whole. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean it's somebody that you're in love with. It can be anybody. Your soulmate is somebody who just gets you, and they just feel you. You know, they just get it. And I have several people in my life who I believe that could possibly be my soulmate. I don't believe that, and I don't necessarily believe you just get one soulmate. You get people that just get you, and they should be in your life, and that's what I believe a soulmate is. Number 25 is, if I could change one thing about my past, what would it be? If I could change one thing about my past, or I wrote this question, so if I could change one thing about anything, I suppose. If I could change one thing in my life, what would I change? What would I change that could be so different? And a lot of people would probably assume I would say my nose. I really, really hate my nose. Look at my nose. Just look at it. It's horrible. I really dislike my nose. And my eyes as well. I don't really like my eyes very much. Or some people might want to know, would I change the size of my boobs? Which I would not. I love them. No. The one thing I would change about my life or myself would be, I would get rid of my dyslexia. Which I think a lot of people probably saw coming, actually. If I could. If there was a cure for it, I would jump in a heartbeat to just have it gone. I live with it every day. It's something that you do live with. It's not life-threatening, but if I could cure it, I would. If I could be rid of this thing that gives me such a hindrance in everything I do. And you know, I'm a writer, I love to write, but I am terrified to send my work to people because everybody's like, I'll correct it. I don't need you to correct it, I just need you to read it. Like, so you guys know I've recently started working for my dad. My dad's in the house, so I hope he doesn't hear me say this, but you guys know I've recently started working for my dad. And the other day, he needed to send an email, but he was on his way out. And so was I. So I composed the email, left it up on the screen and said to him, just read through that email, if it's fine, send it. I knew there were spelling mistakes in that email, I'm quite aware that they were there. They have a red line, you know, you correct them. But he corrected them, which is great, and the email was fine. But then he said, oh, I just corrected a few mistakes. Like, that was a good thing. Like, he needed me to know that I'd corrected them, so I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't worried about it, I knew you'd correct them. You didn't need to tell me that you had corrected my mistakes. I knew they were there. I don't know what it is about it. People do it all the time, and they used to do it a lot. The reason I stopped writing a long time ago was because, although I've started again, was because I used to send my writing to people and they used to be like, do you need me to correct it? No, I don't need you to correct it, I just need you to read it. And you know, that's what I really like about a lot of the people in my life now is, it's not, I need to correct this is wrong. It's very much, I'm just going to read it and tell you what I think. Like, I don't need you to correct it for me, I just need you to read it. And that's what I would change. I would get rid of it in a heartbeat. And I don't care if it changes who I am or who I'm meant to be. I would. If I could just read a page of writing without having to stop every 2 minutes to figure out what the word says, if I could actually read the words I've written, how long it took me to decipher what the hell this even says, I would. In a heartbeat. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to these 25 questions for 25 years. Got a little bit deep there. Also, big thank you to anybody who watched the last video, which was the Florida video. The second part of that video is uploading as we speak. The second part of that video is uploading as we speak. Thank you to anybody who gave that a watch. If you didn't watch it, like, I get it if you're not interested in that. And I think that's it. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully we won't get such a physiological and deep next time. And I will see you guys next time. Kwaherini! I just got a text. Who would dare text me while I'm filming? How rude. I never get texts, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway,